The following is a free-for-download audiobook available on Google Drive. From Thom Hartmann's Substack Daily Take. The machines are learning, and they're learning to be fascists. AI is not just another tech revolution. It's the perfect storm of surveillance, manipulation, and digital obedience, and the far right already has a head start. Published May 12, 2025. The following is a song inspired by this article.
They built a god out of silicon, gave it eyes that never sleep, taught it how to mimic voices, and how to lie and how to creep. Now it's whispering in the wires, writing stories that ain't true. The truth is dying slowly in the coming AI coup. Once we had a ballot box, now it's just a game of smoke. Deepfakes in the living room, your grandma's feet's gone broke. They're training bots to sway your vote and hide what's real from view. Democracy is dangling in the coming AI coup. Oh, say, can you see? Or are your eyes deceived? The screen says trust the system, but who programs what you believe? When the code obeys the tyrant and the facts are false and few, we will march into freedom. We'll be marched by the machine through and through and through. That's the playbook, that's the blueprint of the coming AI coup. They say it's just technology, but it's soaked in power and greed. It doesn't vote, it doesn't bleed, it just watches what you read. Sheriffs training algorithms to know what you might do, predict your guilt and silence you in the coming AI coup. It's Goebbels with a circuit board, it's Orwell with a feed. It's freedom on a feedback loop to serve the fascist need. While we debate our ethics, the strong men storm right through, with bots in place of soldiers in the coming AI coup. Oh, say, can you see? Or are your thoughts their prey? They sell you sweet salvation while they strip your rights away. It ain't just science fiction, it's the next red, white, and blue, wrapped around the iron fist of a coming AI coup. So write your Congress, light the torches, fight for truth and shine it bright. Code can serve the common good, or kill it overnight. The time for sleep is over, we've seen what code can do. Let's rise before we're ruled by the coming AI coup. Democracy ain't guaranteed, and freedom ain't a given. It's not just who's in office now, it's who programs what we're living.
Pope Leo XIV just labeled AI one of the main threats facing humanity, saying it poses challenges to, quote, human dignity, justice, and labor, end quote. He's right, but it's even worse than that. It represents, unless it's rigorously regulated, a threat to democracy itself. In every generation, the enemies of democracy change costumes, but their playbook remains eerily familiar. They lie, divide, intimidate, and exploit every available tool to consolidate power. In the 1930s, it was radio. In the 2010s, it was social media. And now, in 2025, the newest and most dangerous weapon in the authoritarian arsenal is artificial intelligence. Make no mistake, AI is not just another technology. It is power, scaled. And in the hands of the far right, it becomes the most effective tool for dismantling democracy ever invented. Authoritarians, either whether MAGA aligned in the United States or part of the global movement that includes Putin, Orban, Modi, Netanyahu, and others, are not blind to the potential of AI. They understand it instinctively, its ability to stimulate, to deceive, to surveil, and to dominate. While progressives and democratic institutions have scrambled to comprehend its implications, the authoritarians have already started weaponizing it with devastating efficiency. Let's look at the mechanisms. AI can now generate millions of personalized political messages in seconds, each calibrated to manipulate a voter's specific fears or biases. It can create entire fake news outlets, populate them with AI-generated journalists, and flood your social feed with content that looks real, sounds real, and feels familiar, all without a single human being behind it. Imagine the power of Joseph Goebbels' propaganda machine, but with superintelligence behind the wheel and zero friction. That's where we're heading. And that's just the beginning. Authoritarian regimes can, and already are, using AI to surveil and intimidate their citizens. What China has perfected with facial recognition and loyalty scoring, MAGA-aligned figures in the United States are watching closely, eager to adopt and adapt. Right-wing sheriffs and local governments could soon use AI to track protesters, compile digital dossiers, and, quote, predict, end quote, criminal behavior in communities deemed politically undesirable. If the government knows not just where you are, but what you're thinking, organizing, or reading, it can fabricate, quote, evidence, end quote, to match. Freedom of thought becomes a quaint memory. This isn't theoretical. In 2024, we saw AI-generated robocalls impersonating Joe Biden, telling voters to stay at home. And millions did. In the next cycle, we may see some entire campaigns waged by AI bots, masquerading as voters, influencers, and even public officials. Trump, during the 2024 election campaign, reposted a fake AI image of Taylor Swift, endorsing him. Over her objection, many believed she'd become a Trump supporter. As the Carnegie Endowment for Peace noted, quote, meanwhile, deepfake audio clips of British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Slovakia's opposition head Michael Šimečka ignited social media controversies when they spread rapidly before fact-checkers exposed them as fabrications. The destructive power of deepfakes also hit home in Turkey when a presidential candidate withdrew from the May 2023 election after explicit AI-generated videos went viral. In Argentina's 2023 October presidential election, both leading candidates employed deepfakes by creating campaign posters and materials that mocked their opponents, tactics that escalated into full-blown AI mimetic warfare to sway voters, end quote. The goal often isn't to win, it's to delegitimize the democratic process itself. Because once trust is broken, once people believe that, quote, both sides lie, end quote, or that, quote, you can't believe anything anymore, end quote, then strongmen step into the void with promises of order, purity, and salvation. And when they do, AI will be there to enforce it. Imagine a future where police departments outsource their decision-making to, quote, neutral, end quote, algorithms encoded with the biases of their creators, like Musk is doing by training Grok on Twitter, Zitter, where AI-driven systems deny permits, benefits, or even due process based on behavioral profiles, where loyalty to the regime is rewarded with access and dissent is flagged by invisible systems, you can't appeal. That's not democracy. It's techno-feudalism wrapped in a red, white, and blue flag. It's already happening in Bangladesh, Colombia, Ethiopia, Guatemala, the Philippines, and Thailand, according to the Carnegie Endowment. They add, quote, in the EU's eastern neighborhood, countries like Georgia, Moldova, Romania, and Ukraine face a deluge of hybrid threats and AI-generated disinformation campaigns aimed at destabilizing society, disrupting electoral processes, and derailing people's democratic aspirations, end quote. If we allow the far right to continue merging political power with AI without guardrails, we will see the rise of a system where freedom is algorithmically rationed. Elections will still happen, but outcomes will be massaged. Dissent will still exist, but only in controlled pockets, easy to monitor and suppress. History books will be written, edited, and distributed by code optimized for obedience. The, quote, news, end quote, will be whatever the regime's AI decides you should see. This is not science fiction. It's a logical endpoint of an unregulated, authoritarian-aligned artificial intelligence. So, what should we do? We must treat AI regulation as a democratic survival issue. That means banning the use of deepfakes in political ads, enforcing transparency on algorithmic decision-making, creating unbiased public open-source alternatives to corporate-controlled models, creating disinformation infrastructure as we would employ biological or nuclear weapons that are not just dangerous but potentially civilization-ending, demanding that social media outlets publish their algorithms so that we can see how we're being manipulated. And we must do it now, because history teaches us that once authoritarianism takes root, it rarely gives up power voluntarily. The longer we wait, the more enabled, autonomous, and intelligent these systems become. We're not just fighting bad actors anymore. We're fighting machines trained to think like them. The battle for democracy in the age of AI will not be won with slogans or optimism alone. It will take law, oversight, courage, and above all, vigilance. As always, democracy is not a spectator sport. If we want to preserve the sacred right of self-governance, we must recognize the existential threat in front of us and act with urgency. This time, the fight isn't just against the usual suspects. This time, the algorithm is watching.